everybody. I'm here with my lovely friend Selena, and we're going to talk a little bit about covering his name up. Mark Jager's book, The Starboard Quest. And it's going to be some fun. We're only going to cover a couple of the first pages. And I got permission from Mark to talk about it. And I'm going to try and maybe connect with Mark and see what happens with some of the other books that he's written that sound to be really interesting. And awesome. Seven seas to sail, welcome aboard, and 7 notes to scale. Is that a coinky dink?
I don't think so.
So yeah, so C, D, E, F, G, A, B. The scale and in music, right?
Yeah.
So really the first section of it is just getting a basic understanding and the correlation between who we are, what we are, and how everything is connected. The cymatics, the frequencies, the Schumann, just the everything. And Mark goes through a lot of really interesting information. He's makes references to Pythagoras, to later in the book, he talks about Johann Kepler, just a bunch of really interesting people. And just about everything that's related in these older and ancient texts were from Plato and Socrates and all the well-known philosophers. So
do you think that Plato's allegory of the cave was like him envisioning a future where everybody was controlled like we are now? Or do you think that that allegory that he created was based in his modern time too? Like people were already still starting to control things then as well, you know?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting point too. I think we're all controlled, and I think we've always been controlled to a certain degree. And
yeah.
You know, people think this crap, you know, we're never going to get out of this hamster wheel. But I guess if you think about it, how different are we from them to us? Are we really that different? I think it's different levels of waking up.
Yeah.
So, I mean, there were different aspects to society that we have now that we didn't have 100 or 200 years ago, or 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. Technology may have been different.
Right.
So
I imagine philosophers that are famous now were actually like outliers in society of their time, you know, because like their thinking was so radical for their day and age, you know, and they predicted so much, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, even if you look at somebody that's a little more relatable, it's not philosophy, but look at Van Gogh. Most people call him Van Gogh. But Van Gogh was, I mean, he was just tormented, and he was not appreciated. His art was beautiful, still is, but it wasn't appreciated until after he died.
Right. I know.
He was very close to his brother Theo, and I read some of the letters that have been published that he sent to his brother. And I mean, just this warm and wonderful person, but he was also so terribly mentally tortured.
Yeah. I heard he cut off his own ear too, and he like mailed it to as well. So like, yeah, I'm sure he probably seen a lot of things that were hard for him to understand. Like, I feel like a lot of people who are labeled as having mental illness maybe might be gifted or in tune with certain realities and things that like most people aren't able to connect to, you know. And so that creates a sort of almost like madness sometimes whenever we as modern human beings can't understand like what's going on in our conscious plane, you know?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say that even the frequency and sounds of our letters, that the English letters and language was made to dumb us down. I've heard that several times. And so like the forming of the words and the sounds that we make, I mean, even if you listen to like the way most people especially in the United States, it's very monotone language. If you listen to the beautiful languages of Japan and China, it's just a very sing-song, and I think it's fabulous.
It's just such a guttural language, and like a lot of the other languages, like such as what you mentioned is like Japanese and Chinese, like they're more following the different tones and stuff, like they're more in touch with that side of things, I think, too. And I think it's like a big difference between our like different cultures, because in like the United States and probably even Canada, like it's a very competitive culture, whereas like there it's competitive, but it's like for all, you know what I mean? Instead of like this mentality where like each individual, you know what I mean? Like you do well, so you all do well, instead of how it is here, where usually people are out to like their own agenda.
Yeah, it's a very competitive rule, I guess, and even in places of employment, certain places of employment, that they kind of encourage a competitive edge. They want to compete. I mean, I think I sent you the pictures of the Halloween doors. I think it was that we just like, I'm not a fan. I mean, I'll decorate my door, but I'm not whatever. Hey, let's perk this place up. I'm all for that, but up for a competition, not so much.
Yeah.
I am my biggest critic, and I think most people will say that about themselves. I am my biggest critic, and I'm definitely that. So that's kind of that competitive side kind of coming through, but it's also an impetus of, I need to do better. I can do better. And you can still have that. You can still push yourself through that, but to beat yourself afterwards if you don't hit that mark.
Right.
So hitting the high note. So yeah, and I think that when we even say something like, yeah, I agree with that, a lot of the things that people are saying now is that, oh, that really resonates with me.
Yeah, just like the frequency.
So yeah,
Like,
so you're kind of matching up those waves, that oscillation.
yeah.
So yeah, we kind of talked about that. That's not just with our language. And not everybody, but I know a lot of people are becoming more aware of the Schumann frequencies.
Yeah.
And so high today. No wonder I was kind of not feeling as good. I feel better when it's like about 50 something, 60. I felt really good when it was like 100. It's like, oh. But yeah, it was like that for a minute. But one of the things that kind of struck me about the book and the frequency is Mark does point out, what did he call it? The terrestrial monochord. So the monochord, I'm going to hold it up. There's the monochord. So it talks about the different levels of the earth, and the sun is at the top. So this is not just the earth itself that we think of planet Earth, but it's all that's within the, I guess, the dome. And I'm
It's
not
like
sure.
the fields of the earth. Is it showing like the energetic field of the earth and like everything around it, like the planets and stuff too?
Well, the planet one was different. That was the celestial monochord. And all of them are relating to, it's just it looks like if you saw a violin or a stringed instrument like that. And
Yeah.
they don't have frets on them, but a guitar does.
Right.
So where those lines are coming across is raising that frequency. And it as it goes up, it gets that higher or more. I don't like to think of things as higher or lower. I like to think of them as more expansive. So did you see that one thing I showed you about the drop of water that they had levitated, and then they put the
Oh, that's really cool.
yeah, it was what did they call that? I don't know why I'm just like getting a brain fart.
What is it called? Something with an S, right? Mm-hmm.
It was, did I send it to you directly or no?
No, you didn't send it directly. It was on your page.
Yeah, it was
Your,
on the Facebook page. But yeah, it was all about that whole, and you liked it, right?
oh yeah.
Oh, that was just the birds. Come on.
Oh, I
It was part of the story I had started, I think. And that story I think is gone. But yeah, it was harmonics, wasn't
yeah,
it? Harmonic. So the second harmonic, it really didn't do a lot. The third harmonic turned that drop of water into a triangle.
oh wow.
Fourth harmonic turned it into a square. But if you
Yeah,
remember, it wasn't a static square and it wasn't a static triangle. It
yeah,
undulated, so it would be this, and then it would morph into an upside down one, and then this way, and it would just kind of morph back and forth. And
yeah.
did it all the way up to the seventh, and then they did the eighth, but they started with the second. So it was still the seven.
Yeah,
It was still
cool.
seven, and it just got really quicker, and it was just amazing to see that. So it's all kind of like the same thing, only in different, not really, I guess that would be water's an element, but
Yeah,
it's different structures.
right.
Structures. So, and humans, how much are we affected by that?
That's true. Like most of our body's made up of water, and they also say like you can do a lot of like water is like the closest thing you could get to having like a quartz crystal for like healing and stuff. You know, like if you don't have a quartz crystal and you want to do some like healing work on yourself, you can like fill up a glass of water and bless it with your intentions, and then you know what I mean, do the whole process of whatever you're gonna do.
Yep, yep. And then yeah, so it talks about all of that. I mean, this is like really, for me, it's complicated. I could sit here and read each one of these first 30 pages like 5 or 6 times and pull something different out of it. Um, and you know, even pulling out he has the elements and the planets. Let's see if that'll adjust. My camera's not the best, but I mean, everything's outlined and explained. And like I said, I could just keep going through this. So he goes through the planets, he goes through oh, what do you call it? The solar system. It's been a long day at work. But even the more base parts, and larger structures, Earth, outer space, and heaven, and it relates to the mind, heart, and solar plexus. And he calls this the human instrument.
Wow, I've heard that terminology used before too. Is the human instrument is like our bodies, like these are these spaceships that we inhabit, these like meat suits, you know. But that specific terminology in some of the wing makers material that I've read before too, they call it the human instrument, and they call source or God or whatever you want to call it as the sovereign integral.
Yeah. And I think, and it's not like each one of these things are separated out to help understanding. But what's nice about it too is that it separates them out so you can see it, but realizing that how everything is, it's connected. Yeah, kind of. It's integrated. I mean, enmeshed. Everything's enmeshed. I mean, if you think about, just the air, the water, the fire, the earth, and muscle and bone and blood, and how all of these things, the breath is related to the air, is the alto. So, and it's all has these similar frequencies. So I don't know. I just thought it's just kind of cool.
It is very cool.
And
Also, oh, you know,
good luck reading that one, right? All the
right.
elements of the periodic table. I mean, just like our bodies have, each parts of them has a different frequency. So the kidneys are going to resonate at a different frequency than your liver or your intestines or your bladder. I mean, planes of existence, mental plane, spiritual plane, physical plane, and each one of those have their own substrates.
Yeah.
So Yeah, good luck. Camera. I need a better camera. It kind of freaks out on me now and again, but I mean, it just goes on. And I think the last thing that that I kind of came through, I'm reading this, I think the second time through, I probably read this first 30 or 20 pages. This first 20 pages, I don't know, because I kind of got stuck at this other page here, but Plato's Cosmic Bowl of Interest Instrument. And you said you'd never seen glass harmonica.
No, I hadn't until you showed me. It was really super cool. I can imagine like how healing it would be to like play with that and like be around that, you know what I mean, that live, you know.
So I'm
And
sheet here. Come on, there we go. So sugar plum. I mean,
there's all
so yeah, so I wanted to just show that this guy is playing this. I'm going to turn the sound off just for a second. Maybe the camera will. All right. Okay. So now you can see what this guy is playing, right? I mean, and it's just amazing sound just for a couple of seconds here, maybe. Yeah. So it's just this amazing humming, almost angelic sound that comes out of these things. And I remember seeing these as a kid. And, you know, even though I think Mark mentions here that Plato did not make this, he had it, you know, drawn up, etc.
yeah.
But that it was Benjamin Franklin, I believe, who was given the credit for making the first glass harmonica.
That's cool.
But it definitely has an almost angelic sound to it. So I mean, the last thing that I came upon that just kind of, I felt like this is just like way too much that my little brain can kind of suck in, are the different modes, the 7 Greek modes laid out as the latitudes of the earth.
Wow. Super cool.
And he goes into a lot of detail, and Selena's at a disadvantage. I have the book and she doesn't, so I'm gonna I'm gonna mail you the book so you can read it. I really want your feedback on it, and you read a lot faster than I do.
Yeah.
And I think the other cool stuff in here, I mean, this is a little bit further on in the book, and this is something that I think is super important, especially in today's world, is the inaudible music and the inaudible sounds, the inaudible frequencies. Not all of them are really good for us. So it's something that we need to understand how to protect ourselves on that too. So, I mean, this just goes on and on and on about, I mean, 8-level pyramid of sound. And yeah, it's just got some, here's a picture of, I mean, seen pictures of this before too.
Wanting to do grid work and stuff like that too, you know, or more in-depth research on energy healing.
Yeah, and the ley lines and some of the other things we kind of talked about, even some of the things that are hidden, not just the sound that we don't hear. There are a lot of different theories about what the pyramids were for, and you know, we have pyramids here in the bottom of Lake Michigan. I think there's like a Stonehenge down there.
There's mounds over by where I live, not that far away.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah.
It's still cool though.
Yeah, well, no, I mean, and I tried to find, hello. I've tried to find some of that stuff in it just online or on maps, because I really love maps. I've always loved maps. And you can't almost find, I can find nothing at all. The only thing I could find was there was some petroglyphs that's like 90 minutes from me, and I wasn't going to truck all the way across the plain, especially now that there's snow on the ground. I don't know, I might. Good sunny day. But anyway, So is there anything else that you wanted to kind of relate to this whole cymatics and the Starboard Quest? I just like this book so much.
I think there's a lot more that we're just starting to begin to understand about like different modalities of healing and how sound and light and crystals and such things, and how we as individuals can use our own sovereignty to incorporate those things as well, to like use it for healing or help facilitate healing in other people as well.
Right. And I'm wondering, and this just occurred to me, just a thought. So everything's got a resonance, and if even something like a thought, that has to have a resonance and a sound or a sonic impact, resonance, So
Yeah.
even a thought has to have something like that.
Yeah, it has a sound, we can't hear it. You know what I mean? It's on a different plane or level of like that, something we can't perceive. But I feel like that's also something that's coming to a close too. Is I feel like as we start growing and progressing as individuals, we're going to be able to like have telepathy more easily available to us as we're starting to hear different tonalities and frequencies and just different ways of communicating that we may not have realized before.
Yeah, so what do you think about like ringing in the ears? Do you get that a lot or every now and again?
That a lot, but I get that every now and then, but I definitely think it has some kind of significance. Like I've heard theories that it's like angels, trying to talk to you, or something from like a higher density even too.
Yeah, because sometimes I'll hear something that's really low and humming,
Mm.
and sometimes it's very high. And it's kind of odd because they're no matter what the pitch, the tone is also quite different with each time that I hear something. But they're always very intense. It's something that can sometimes stop and it's like, whoa, it grabs your attention. Well, it grabs my attention. Yeah,
Right.
yeah. So I don't know what that is. And everybody, oh, it's tinnitus.
There's like different things that you can do too, as far as like people can look stuff up like this. Like I did personally for myself and my spiritual like growth, for my spiritual growth, is I looked up different like meridian toning and stuff. Matthew Mornian has a lot on his page too. He does a lot of that really well. And a lot of my growth started whenever I stopped trying to like buy into other people's stories so much and took the focus onto myself and as far as like what I needed help with. And so like one of the main ones I remember doing for the first time that had a major effect was doing like a liver toning, for the meridians and stuff. And you could even feel it like with it like in that area and everything. It was very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's all about the intention and the focus. Because
Yeah.
you can, within this form, also be focusing on other aspects within it. So you're focusing on that particular organ, but integrated into that are also these other energy. They say it's like a spin point, or I mean, are they
Yeah.
are they portals? Are they, you know what I mean? It's
The
like
vortex, spinning vortex, like Dan Winter talks about that really well. I don't know the technical name though.
yeah, but you know what I mean though. So everything's like separated out to examine it, to try and understand it, and how you can not necessarily manipulate it in a bad way, but possibly connect it.
Yeah.
Um just get it more into a homeostasis and balance. So
Yeah.
yeah, but everything is so layered and so integrated and enmeshed. It's complicated. And that's what reminds me of the book, where all these, they're maps to me. They're like these, triangular maps. What was that?
I said they're like guides.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. So yeah, good times. Great, I'm gonna share that screen just for a hot minute. You're still working on, are you still working on a, oh, what do you call it? A web page or anything like that, Selena?
I'm working on it, but I don't have one yet. So I'll have to keep you
Right.
updated.
All right, so I mean, people are welcome to reach out to me. I have my, I don't have, it's just kind of see, but my email address is right here. And you can kind of send me an email, tell me what you're all like looking for. I am doing some interviews. This lady's awesome. She just wrote a book. It's just, I really find that hearing what people have to say and giving their take on life and whatever is on their heart and mind is really important.
Yeah.
I think the only playlist I have so far is the Home Mars. That was an awesome day, but I've done a couple other talks with people, like a couple colleagues. She doesn't work where I work anymore, but Adam still does. But yeah, so if you wanted to go ahead and just either send me an email. You don't really want to put your email out there yet, though, do you?
I don't mind. My email is Selena, Selena, writes WRITES, the number 16 at gmail.com.
So yeah, I can put that in the description below. I'm gonna not stop. I keep looking over because that's where you're.
Email.
Yeah, I'll put your email in there too. Because one of the things I know that typical skeptic is always pushing you to do. But you have to feel healed enough, and you have to be in a place in your own heart and mind to be able to do something like that. And you also need the infrastructure to be able to do that too. And I kind of feel that way about some of the things that I do. A lot of the money that I really haven't made, I haven't broken even yet, not even close with the money I've invested in the pyramids. And I do charity work too. Oh,
Deb makes these beautiful wands, and this one is made with rose quartz, aluminum, and copper. And that's it, right?
yep.
Really cool. It helped me a lot. When I first got it, I could feel like a major shift in my energy, like it like automatically like completely cleansed me. And also, when I was having some pretty severe migraines the other day, like I would put it up to my head like this, and I would like draw out the pain and imagine it like being transmuted as something else, and it like it did help me a lot, quite a bit.
That's cool. That's very cool. Yeah, experimental. She's got the prototype, you guys. That's oh, that's awesome. But yeah, so yeah, I do the charity lettering and all that. So that's my Christmas time thing. But it's important for us to have the infrastructure and not push ourselves beyond, because we can make ourselves ill if we start going beyond what we should be doing. We need to have that self-care right now, because there's just a lot going on right now. So
Yeah, body's like,
yeah, so thank you for spending this time with me.
welcome.
We talk way too much anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody's got to do their own thing in their own time, and when the timing is right, it's all gonna like really fall into place. I'm getting one of those really hard tones right now.
Cool. Confirmation, baby.
But yeah, everything is definitely going to be setting up
Yeah.
in the right order, in the right timing for all aspects of your life, for not just financial, but everything in your relationships and everything else. So hopefully I will be able to get a hold of Mr. Jager soon and get some more in-depth stuff. If you want to come back, we can talk about something else next week if I can't get a hold of Mark.
That's good.
Yeah, whatever. You can come up with a topic this time, and who knows?
Okay.
Maybe we'll have a guest. If you think of one.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You
I'll
got deeper, you got deeper toes than I do into this stuff. I'm a green stick.
I don't know. I mean, I know some people, I guess, like, well, I don't know them, but like I do have, I like talk, I talk to people that work with me. I've been blessed in that. Thank you.
Yeah, that's good. That's good, good, good. Well, thank you again, and thank you for everybody who watches this video. Please do like, share, and subscribe. This is the housekeeping part that I usually forget to do. Yeah, and just
Don't
have
forget to hit the like button.
Yeah, you were in sales, weren't you?
Yes, I was very, very good.
Awesome sauce. Well, see everybody later.
Bye.
Blessings.